5 seconds to go. Start. The next issue which arises for consideration is whether the respondent has terminated the agreement during the lock-in period. Stop. To answer this issue, it is necessary to determine from which date the lock-in period has started or kicked in. Stop. According to the Learned Counsel, Article 26 of the agreement prescribes the term of agreement to be initially for 15 years starting from the opening date, renewable for another 10 years, with the first 5 years of the said term to be mandatory lock-in period of 5 years, which would thus commensurate with the starting of the term of 15 years. Stop. Para. So, according to him, the opening date being of July, 2017, the mandatory 5 years lock-in period had started from July, 2017. Stop. In effect, he argued that the effective date has not been defined in the definition clauses under Schedule 1. Stop. According to him, the word effective date mentioned in sub-clause 3 of Article 24 has to be necessarily read with earlier part of the same article, that is, first 5 years of the terms of the contract. Stop. Hence, the effective date has to be read as the opening date since the term starts from the opening date. Stop. I am not in agreement with this submission made by Mr. Dutt. Stop. The date of the execution of the agreement, that is, May 15, 2015 has been defined as the effective date, and sub-clause 3 of Article 24 stipulated the lock-in period to be 5 years from the effective date, that is, May 15, 2015. Stop. No doubt, Schedule 1 of the agreement, which defines words mentioned in the agreement, includes opening date to mean the date of commencement of the operation of the hotel for the purpose of receiving guests, to be determined in accordance with Article 4 of this contract, but the submission of Learned Counsel that the agreement prescribes two dates, that is, effective date and opening date, for the reason that since the hotel had to be constructed before being operational, and the petitioner, having the necessary expertise, and in terms of recitals 3, 4, 5 and 6 read with Article 2, is required to provide professional advice regarding architecture, engineering, interior designing, furnishing, etc. from the effective date, for which the petitioner was paid rupees 15 lakhs by the respondent for pre-opening services in consideration of the management fee promised to be paid by the owner, is appealing. Stop. Para. In substance, the plea of Learned Counsel is, as certain obligations have been imposed on the petitioner to be performed during the construction of the hotel, which started immediately, and continued till the hotel became operational, the lock-in period was stipulated from the effective date. Stop. In fact, I find it is the case of the petitioner itself in para 19 of the petition that it had expended considerable time and resources in giving technical inputs, comma, detailing and designing inputs, comma, which the petitioner has acquired over a period of time, comma, towards the construction and execution of works in the hotel. Stop. It is also stated by the petitioner that the petitioner's technical interest and experience in the field was one of the key factors in signing the agreement for letting the hotel to be managed by the appellant party in this petitioner case. Stop. Para. May I say a word here about the population of India? Sign of interrogation. A great deal has been said and written about our tremendous population and how it overwhelms us and how we cannot solve any problem till the Indian population is checked or decimated. Stop. Well, comma, I have no desire for the population of India to go on increasing. Stop. I am all in favor of the population being checked, comma, but I think there is a great misapprehension when so much stress is laid on this aspect. Stop. I entirely disagree with that. I think India is an underpopulated country, and I say this not because I want it to be much more populated. Stop. It is underpopulated, comma, because I want it to be much more populated. Stop. Para. Mr. Vice Chairman, comma, I would now like to make a few observations on the Ministry of Education. Stop. Education is basic to any national regeneration. Stop. It is true that it does not bring any return as our other projects do, as for instance, comma, the steel projects or the irrigation projects do. Stop. But this is the investment that is designed to help building up of the human material. Stop. It is agreed that education has expanded after independence and during the planned periods. Stop. But it is a matter for concern that the content of education has not been equal to our expectations. Stop. Even today, comma, we are engaged in experimenting with all types of education, comma, from the basic stage up to the university level. Stop. It is not clear, comma, I presume, comma, that the basic pattern of education of which so much was said and written, comma, is accepted as a success even today. Stop. Where do we stand with regard to the basic pattern? Sign of interrogation. It seems to be the position that all arguments are in favor of that type of education, comma, but all proof is against the success of such a type of education. Stop. Where does the government stand with regard to this type of education? Sign of interrogation. We swore by the basic type of education because it was discovered by the father of the nation. Stop. But if it has been a failure, comma, why should not the government say that that is the position? Sign of interrogation. Then again, comma, take secondary education and also collegiate education. Stop. 3 years ago, comma, it was said that all universities should have 3-year degree courses, and some universities which were reluctant to accept this reform were more or less, comma, compelled to do so, and they accepted it. Stop. Now, comma, certain universities find that this scheme is not working satisfactorily and they feel that they should have a 2-year course in the college before students could enter the degree course. Stop. I mention this to show that this eternal tinkering with education should stop and it should not go on like this. Stop. This uncertainty is not only with regard to the main objective of education, comma, the main structure of education from the primary to the collegiate level, comma, but also with regard to the courses of studies, comma, and also with regard to the language or medium of instruction. Stop. Mr. Chairman, comma, up to the secondary stage, it has been accepted that the medium of instruction should be the regional language. Stop.